Okay, we're joined by three-time winning Daytona 500 champion Denny Hamlin, driver of the number 11 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. Go ahead and open it up to questions. Go ahead and start up here up front, and then we'll work our way around the room. And then we'll go over here to...
Justin Schuler, Kicking the Tires. How are you enjoying the podcast?
It's good. Yeah, learning as we go, but it's pretty effortless right now. Y'all know I like to talk.
Any upcoming plans for it, like next few months, or just you're rolling as you go?
No, just week by week, every Monday morning.
All right, let's come over here to Jenna, and then Lee, then we'll go to Bruce Lewis.
First off, on the podcast, the first two episodes have been pretty big hits. Did you have any idea that you had that in you?
I don't know. It's just when he kind of pitched me on it, a lot of it was my concerns that hey, we're kind of diluting my market a little bit, but they said that. Listen, Dale Jr. download, you were the second highest rated, and then on the DBC, you were the first rated. So people are at least listening, even though they might not like you. So I think, it's just, it's good. I think it'll be a good, honest way for me to kind of inform people about our sport. And if anything, I think it helps grow our sport with the content, certainly.
Is there anything you're holding back that you're afraid to say so far?
No, not yet, for sure. But let's just give it a few weeks.
Just a few weeks.
Yeah.
Coming out of the clash where guys were saying that the hits to the rear words were violent, whiplash, things like that, you talked about possible CO exposure. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling about where the car is right now headed into this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I felt pretty good about it. Certainly the updates that we've been given from NASCAR on it has been good. The thing is that what we think happened in my scenario is that there's just not very much room in the rocker box for the muffler, and when they put the muffler in there, there's just no clearance anywhere. So as soon as you door bang with someone, as soon as you get some damage on the sides, it just knocks it into the frame rail, which then roasts the door pad. So I think it's just kind of not enough tolerances around that area quite yet. But I feel okay about it. The car itself, certainly, I know they're testing bumpers. They haven't got anything better yet than what we've got. So they're still working on it, as far as I know.
Did it hurt in LA?
I mean, it jars you pretty good for sure. I mean, it's the hit is super solid, and especially at the rate that kind of guys were laying into each other. It was as hard as anything that we do without it crumbling for sure.
Okay, let's come over here to Lee, and then Bruce.
Would you trade your 3 Harley J. Earl trophies for a
No.
NASCAR Cup champion?
I got asked that last year. Would not do it. No way. No chance.
Okay, and then on the finding a VRBO with a pickleball court, when did you get into pickleball? And Larson wants to know if you're running a house that's close to his new place in Scottsdale.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I mean, I actually am looking to purchase a stake in one of the professional teams. So it's really kind of exciting from my standpoint. It's like tennis, only it's better for my shoulders. So anything that's better on my joints is a little bit better that I appreciate. But it's fun. I mean, all my golfing buddies that we really can't golf in the wintertime, it's great for us to be able to do it indoors, which is a blast. So.
You set up your basketball court?
Yeah, and the ball bounces pretty good on it. So we love doing it. We do it at least once a week.
You said you thought you might take lessons since you like to bet on yourself.
Yeah. Listen, I've already got my spreadsheet of the player rankings and all that. I'm kind of mid-pack. So, of course, I'm going to try to get better, which, I feel like I am. I hate sucking.
Go ahead, Bruce.
2311 and Trackhouse both came into the series at relatively the same time. You've both won races. You've both had drivers in the playoffs. Do you see a certain a bit of kinship with that team, the way that you're both trying to broaden NASCAR's horizon?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we're trying to change status quo. I mean, but status quo is not terrible either. I mean, it's been this way. The teams have done things for a while because they found the best way to do it over time. But yeah, we're challenging different things with our designs, our employees. How diverse we are. There's a lot of things that we're doing differently within the sport, but a lot of that is stuff that you don't see by just looking at a race car. So. Last year I think we were the only team to have all black wheels. Just something that just spiced it up a little bit and made us look as professional as we possibly could, which is something I'm really keen on with my team, is making sure that we look as professional as we possibly can at all times. And I think that I'm excited about where that team's going. Just some of the stuff they're working on in the off season, I was very impressed with.
And how do you balance your time being a driver on one team and being a team owner on another?
Yeah, I mean, once I'm here this weekend, right, I'm all 11 FedEx car for Joe Gibbs Racing. That's what I focus on. I'll have a special interest in tonight in qualifying with Travis, but the work's already been done. There's nothing I can do other than have meetings with them post practices, post qualifying to work on race strategy, but I'm not going to go wrench on the car this weekend. So the work's been done, and I've hired a lot of people that I trust to make sure that team's running well.
All right, let's go into the middle to Lewis, then over to Jordan, and then the mech in the middle to Mike.
Getting in your miles. Denny, earlier today, Austin Cindric said he sat on a murder trial in December. You got any off-season stories to match that?
I mean, I never want to see murder happen, but that'd be very captivating for me. I love true crime, so I mean, I'm a true crime junkie, so that would have been really interesting. Oh, he was guilty. Yeah. Unquestionably. Oh, very, very guilty.
He didn't want to be the foreman to send the down.
Yeah, no doubt. Wow, that's interesting. I guess I don't think I haven't ever been selected for jury duty, but certainly I would prefer it be on something riveting like that versus something like running a traffic signal. Yeah.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. It's early in the going, but how has it been adjusting to not having Kyle Busch as a teammate in meetings and such?
Well, we've only had one meeting this year. Really just people took over the spaces where he was at. Like we all kind of have it's very unassigned seating in our meeting rooms. And so it's just new people sit in, right? And all the people that have been there sit in their seats, and you just got a new face in there. But not really, it hasn't really changed anything for us so far, for sure.
Is there a dynamic that he brings that's going to be missed that you really can't replicate or replace?
I mean, certainly he had some valuable information that you listen to, right? I mean, he's well accomplished and can win anywhere. So, I mean, I certainly listen to him whenever he's speaking. Now, you got to really have a big, thick filter to figure out, what's true, what's not. But I think it's, certainly he's an asset anywhere he goes because he's very good, and it's going to be different when you have a younger guy in there, Ty, who's learning as he goes. So he's probably going to be less vocal, I would think, for the first year or so.
Okay, we're kind of short on time. We have to wrap with one last question. We're going to Mike in the middle. Mike Embry in the middle. There you go.
Denny, what is your take on why so many good drivers, including 2 or 3 now and many in the past, have done so well, won so many races, but can't win this one?
There's so many factors in it. Just because a lot of times you don't decide your own fate. You know, people talk about, you know, getting in a wreck here is 50-50 chance. I think it's probably a little higher than that. And most times you don't create the wreck. You're just someone that's at the wrong place at the wrong time. So it takes three facets to win at these racetracks, right? You got that luck factor, that's part of it. 20% or whatever it might be. Maybe it's 30%. And then you got execution, and then you got skill set. So you got to have all three to win this race. And it's hard to get all three of those lined up on any given day, which is why probably the best driver ever here, Dale Earnhardt, who won 1 billion races, didn't win this one because it just on that day he didn't have all three of those things lining for